Hey guys, this is Calamity here with another Should You Pull video. Today we're going to talk about Kokomi. Now, she's going to have her rerun banner right next to Ganyu in a few days, and I know a lot of people are probably going to skip on her or pass. However, I'm here to tell you why you might want to consider actually pulling for Kokomi. She received 2 massive buffs in this update, and I'm going to go over them, as well as just about everything you need to know about this character before you do pull on her. With that being said, let's get started with the basic kit. So, Kokomi's normal attacks are like this. She shoots 3 projectiles with doing her finisher is like that little flip she does. Would be her basic combo attacks there. This is her charge attack. Nice big AoE splash. Now the attacks themselves don't really do that much damage. Nothing fancy there. And now we're going to showcase her skill. She summons a jellyfish with a pretty decent AoE. It will heal your teammates as well as damage enemies at the same time every time you see that ripple. But the best part about it is that it keeps applying Hydro to your enemies. This is what makes Kokomi a great support for setting up Vaporize, Freeze, and the new Hydro Bloom elemental reaction. So I don't currently have Kokomi's burst right now because I do poor planning. But anyways, it's better just to talk about it in the talent section here because you can't really see the effects unless I'm fighting something. So when you pop Kokomi's burst, she gets several effects. The first one being that her attack and charge attack will deal more damage based on her max HP. The second effect is that she's sort of like Barbara, where every time she's damaging an enemy, she's going to heal everybody on her team. And then the last effect she gets from her burst is that it's sort of like she has a shield. Not really, though. She's just resistant to interruptions. And for some reason, during her burst, she can walk on water. The burst doesn't last that long for you to cross oceans or anything crazy like that. It only lasts 10 seconds, but I guess it's useful while exploring in some cases, I would imagine. So let's talk about the rest of our talents since we're here. We have Tamanuya's Casket. So basically when you use your burst, this will reset the duration of your jellyfish. So a lot of people will just use Kokomi's burst and then swap back just so that the jellyfish stays on the field longer, providing more healing and more hydro to the enemy. The next talent we have here is when using her burst, she will get even more damage based on her max HP. Or sorry, she will get even more damage based on her healing bonus. So she can convert healing bonus into damage. Not that much, it's only 15% of her healing bonus. Princess of Watatsumi allows your party to use 20% less stamina while swimming. Nice while exploring areas and stuff. This is probably her most unique talent right here. So she has a base increase of 25% healing bonus, but she has a 100% decrease in crit rate. Now you might be looking at that and thinking, wow, that sounds horrible. No way she can be a DPS. That is actually not true. Elemental Mastery is a much better stat if you want to build Kokomi for damage, and it does make building her artifacts much easier since you can pretty much just ignore crit rate and crit damage on your artifacts. Speaking of weapons and artifacts, let's talk about them next. So for weapons, Kokomi is perfectly fine with a 3-star weapon known as the Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers. This is a 3-star weapon that you can easily refinement 5. It has a substat of HP percentage, which we just saw is great for Kokomi, increasing her healing as well as her damage in the same stat. But the weapon itself also has an effect where it will increase the attack of the next character you switch to by 48% for 10 seconds. This is a pretty nice buff to whomever the main DPS is on your team. Now this is the best weapon to give Kokomi if you plan to use her as a support. However, she does have some other options if you want to give her something else. Prototype Amber is good if you want Kokomi's burst to happen a bit more frequently, and it also... the healing on it is very unnecessary. Kokomi can definitely just heal your team with her skill and burst alone. But it's just, again, a nice effect to have. Another weapon that will be decent on her if you plan to use her as more of a DPS is the Sacrificial Fragments weapon. It gives her Elemental Mastery, which again translates into more damage. You can also use Mappa Mare if you want to as well. Both are decent enough. You do not need Kokomi's 5-star signature weapon. It is nice to have, sure, if you want it, but highly, highly, highly unneeded on Kokomi. There are plenty of 4-star, and I just showcased the 3-star weapon she's currently using. These are more than fine for Kokomi. Artifacts. Let's talk about the artifact sets that are great for her. Tenacity of the Millelith is once again the best set for her if you plan to use her as a support. This is because it gives her a 20% increase in HP, which again, damage and more healing. The 4-piece effect gives your team a 20% attack buff while increasing shield strength. So if you have a shield character on the team, the shield will get beefier. When building Kokomi, again, because of her talent where crit rate and crit damage are basically useless, you only need to focus on giving her HP percentage and energy recharge. If you do want to make her more damage focused, then you're going to want Elemental Mastery. So here we have a artifact with basically excellent substats for Kokomi: HP percentage, energy recharge, Elemental Mastery. Same thing here. This is perfect. If you're building a support Kokomi right here, perfect substats. When you're looking for main stats on the other 3 artifacts, again, HP percentage, which I'm sure most of you have a lot of just by farming artifacts naturally. Elemental Mastery, energy recharge here. Again, Goblet. You don't even need a Hydro damage Goblet. You can be fine with an HP percentage one. Just get some more energy recharge. And then probably the hardest one to get maybe is a healing bonus circlet. Again, with some energy recharge, HP percentage, and elemental mastery. This right here is a perfect set piece for Kokomi. This is an amazing artifact piece. The other artifact set that you might consider farming for Kokomi is the one that was tailor-made for her. It's called the Ocean-Hued Clam. Now this artifact set might look like a lot to read here, but I will condense it for you. So 2-piece, she gets healing bonus plus 15%. Keep in mind this is going to convert into damage thanks to her talent, as well as healing, right? But the 4-piece set, so basically when you heal somebody, you will spawn a bubble. As you continue to heal your team, whether Kokomi is on the field or not, thanks to her jellyfish, this bubble will start to accumulate all that healing you've been doing, up to 30,000 HP. Once it reaches that limit or the duration is over for the bubble, it will pop and it will deal damage up to 90% of the healing you did. So if you got the max 30% or 30,000 HP healed in that time frame, then you're going to do about 27,000 damage when it pops, assuming you get it. This is great if you want to make Kokomi, again, a DPS character. This will give her basically mini nuke damage, if you want to call it that. And it is a nice set for her. So you have 2 viable sets for Kokomi. Both work just as well. I would do Ocean-Hued Clam if you plan to put her on a team. If you plan to put her on a team that already has Tenacity of the Millelith set user, then you probably don't need it on her. You can just go Ocean-Hued Clam. Alright, next let's talk about her Constellations. We're just going to go over them really quickly and just kind of talk about them, but TLDR, I really don't think these are necessary, and you are absolutely fine at having a Kokomi at C0 to do all the content in the game. But let's just go over them. So her C1 will give her a sort of final attack in her combo string, which will unleash a swimming fish that deals 30% of her max HP is hydro damage, so basically a better finisher. It's okay, you know, not necessary, right? C2 will increase the healing you receive from the jellyfish if your characters are below 50% HP. And it will also increase the damage she does when using her burst on her normal and charge attacks by a tiny bit. Nothing crazy. C3 and C5 we already know is +3 to healing and +3 to skill and burst respectively, so we're just going to skip over those. C4 will increase her attack speed as well as restore her energy as she hits opponents. This is a nice quality of life constellation, but it is C4, so not really worth it. And then her C6 will give her a straight up 40% hydro damage bonus for 4 seconds when she heals a party member with 80% or more HP. Again, nice to have, but is it necessary? Do you need to have it? Absolutely not. In fact, I would just say save your gems for another character. Kokomi is absolutely fine at C0. Lastly, we're going to talk about some team comps for Kokomi. And we're going to start off with this Vaporize team right here. So one of the big buffs that Kokomi got, but not just Kokomi, but all Hydro characters in general got, is an improvement to their elemental resonance. So Soothing Water, the Hydro resonance, increases your max HP by 25%. Now in a team like this with Hu Tao and Zhongli, everyone just got 25% increase in HP. What does that mean? For Zhongli, that means his shield just got beefier. For Kokomi, we already know that means more healing, more damage. Jincho is not affected by the increase in HP, but that's fine. Hu Tao, if you don't have Hu Tao or you don't know how she works, she gets more damage based off her max HP. So that alone, just having Kokomi in the team and activating the Hydro Resonance, you just gave this whole team a huge buff in terms of everything. Healing, damage, shields, everything. Everybody's going to be better off now because of this new change to Hydro Resonance. There are other teams you can use Kokomi on as well if you like more of the electro-charged ones. You can replace Venti here with Sucrose or Kazuha, whoever you happen to have in your, whichever characters you happen to have. But in this team you use Fish and Beto for consistent electro, and then you use Kokomi as your main DPS to sort of spread that electro damage. Basically, you're proccing electro-charged constantly. And this is actually a pretty viable team. You might have heard it from other YouTubers, and it's a very underrated team. And it is definitely able to do all of the content in the game, and that includes Spiral Abyss full star clears. Another team you could use Kokomi on is the one we kind of showcased in the previous video with Ganyu, and that is the Mogana comp. If you don't have Mona, Kokomi is a nice replacement for her until you do pull for her, or until you get your Mona, basically. But Kokomi sort of like opens up changes into this team comp if you want to try something different. Like instead of Diona, since Kokomi is a healer, you can use maybe Rosaria and still have the cryo resonance, but have a bit more crit rate. But yeah, Kokomi is a great hydro applicator, so she definitely can be used in this team. She's not going to give you as much damage as Mona, but a viable substitute. That being said, there is one more team that I cannot showcase just because I don't have it on my account or on this account that I'm borrowing for this video. But basically, the brand new Dendro element works really, really well with Kokomi, whether you're using Kali or Dendro Traveler. Kokomi works well with them because when you mix Hydro with Dendro, you're making the Dendro cores, and her Jellyfish mixed with Dendro means you're going to get a consistent flow of Dendro cores, and then all you need is an Electro character to proc the Hyper Bloom elemental reaction for big damage. I haven't tested it myself. I definitely want to test a team like that in the future and make a video on it to showcase how well it can do. But from what I've seen and heard on the interwebs, it seems to be pretty good. Hyper Bloom teams seem to be a very viable and strong comp for all content in the game, including Spiral Abyss. Alright, so that wraps it up for Kokomi. I just wanted to share some thoughts that I do think Kokomi is in a much stronger spot than she was when she was first released. I do not think she deserves all the hate that she got. She is definitely more viable nowadays, and you can try out a Hyper Bloom team with her if you manage to pull her. But I definitely do think she's no longer just like a pass. Now, if I had to choose between Ganyu or Kokomi, that's a rough one. I would probably say Ganyu, just because Ganyu is a very, very strong DPS with little investment. Whereas Kokomi, if you want to make Kokomi a DPS, you're going to have to invest not just in her, but in other teammates, since she's more of a reaction DPS. Whereas Ganyu is just straight up DPS on her, like just by herself. Kokomi, however, is going to be great for new players. She's a fantastic healer. The only downside is that you have to make it all the way to Inazumi. Inazumi. All the way to Inazuma, specifically Watatsumi Island, which is where she's from, and this is where I'm currently hanging out while I'm recording this video. But you need to make it here. This is where all her ascension materials are. But yeah, just to reiterate, I think Kokomi is a very solid character, and with the new dendro element, as well as the buff to hydro resonance, she's the best she's ever been since her release. So if you have any questions about Kokomi, let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.